G'day folks, it's Laura here, and today I'm going to do a flip cup pour. So my colours today are iridescent blue-green from Pebeo, aqua, Pacific blue, blue-violet, pale gold and titanium white, all of these from Jo Sonja. Now I'm only going to use a fairly small amount of the blue violet because it is a very deep, rich colour. So I'm going to be using my standard pouring medium for this. I'll link to a video on how to make this if you're interested. Now with the Pebeo paint, because it's quite a lot thicker than the other paints here, I've added just a small amount of pouring medium to start with, and I'll mix this up well before I add more pouring medium. Now with this blue violet, I am going to add a little bit of this wall paint, this neutral base. It's the thickest component of my pouring medium, and I'm using this to thicken up this darker colour so that it doesn't spread quite as much in the pour, and so it's less diffuse. So it's time to layer my cup now, and I'm going to use my standard cell activator for this. I'll link to a video on how to make this if you're interested. And I'm just going to start by using a generous layer on the bottom and the sides of the cup. So I've already prepared my canvas. This is the back of the canvas, and I've added painter's tape as well as giant push pins. It's time to flip the cup now. Now this cup is extremely full, and I could actually invert the canvas and flip the cup like that, but actually I quite prefer the flipping effect because sometimes I get some very interesting patterns. So I am expecting to lose a fair amount of this off the side. Let's see how we go. So I'm just going to empty the cup of paint and spread that paint around the edges and the corners. So this one has a lot of interesting patterns in it. It looks like I've lost pretty much all of the gold and that's underneath. There is a little bit that seems to be rising to the surface here. So it's possible that when I stretch this, more of the gold will potentially come through. So that will be quite interesting. I think I need to shift the paint down in this direction just a little bit because it looks like it's predominantly up in this section at the moment. Okay, and then I might do a gentle spin from here. So I'm off these two corners and I'm close to this one, and this one's the one that I need to get the closest to. I'm currently furthest away from. So I'll do another spin now that I've moved the paint down in that direction. Okay, I've just about covered all of the corners, I think. What I'll now do is just another quick go with the heat gun to pop any bubbles, and then I will cover those corners that didn't quite get fully covered, this one here for instance. And then I'll take the paint off from underneath. Wow, so just look at the depth of colour in some of these sections. I've got beautiful areas of the aqua and also of the blue violet coming through here. And I've got some very delicate traces of the white through here as well, which are adding a lot of detail, fine kinds of detail. I haven't got a huge amount of lacing in this one. I've got some down here. I've got a little bit of lacing in the aqua up here and further to the top. I do have some cells rising here on the left. Overall, this is quite an interesting piece. I didn't get a lot of gold out of this one, which I'm a little bit unhappy with, but that's okay. There is definitely some gold traces which might potentially shine through a little bit as it dries. But yeah, overall pretty happy with this one. I think it might work quite well for an ocean scene.